Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're all doing really well. Come and say hello. If you're watching this live, whether you're watching this live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or whether you're one of the people watching this on YouTube, come and say hi. Tell me what you're up to. How's your day going? So today I made a bit of a mistake. Today I thought I was getting my vaccination. So I completely cleared my diary because I thought, do you know what? I've heard things about the Pfizer vaccination when you have the second one that it can wipe you out. So I thought, do you know what? If I clear my diary and have a relatively clear weekend, that's probably not a bad idea. So I completely cleared my diary, expecting to have my vaccination today. And last night, just before I went to bed, thought, do you know what? I'm just going to double check the confirmation email, and it's not today. Not meant to be having it today. So I've got a completely free diary, which is amazing because there's loads of stuff that I need to get done today, kind of a few cans I've been kicking down the road. So yeah, managed to catch up some of my day. Hi, Suzanne. So let's talk. I thought, why not come on here and just have an opportunity to come and talk to you a bit about resilience, how we build resilience, and particularly how resilience works in the commercial cockpit. So I thought, why not, while I'm talking to you, show you some of my cockpit experience. So the video that you can see on the screen at the moment is from when I was doing something called upset recovery training. There you go. There you can see in the Netherlands. And it's a real way for pilots to kind of learn a bit of resilience in their flying. They put you in some really strange situations, as you'll see in this video as we kind of go through talking, and see how you deal with them. And it's a great way of training. So the guy that I'm flying alongside is a former US Navy SEAL. He used to fly aircraft onto carriers, and he has something ridiculous like 2,000 carrier landings, which is unreal. I don't think I've actually got 2,000 normal landings, never mind 2,000 carrier landings. So yeah, pretty amazing guy. Hey, Sabrina. So yeah, he was called Otter. He was an absolute nutter. But the lessons he taught were unreal. And I learned so much. I just did 3 hours flying with him over the course of a couple of days out of the Netherlands. The airplane that we're flying here is called a Slingsby. It's an old British aircraft that was used, I believe, to train fighter pilots. It's so nimble and so agile, and you'll see as this video kind of progresses just how much we push this aircraft to the absolute limits. But the point of this and the point of what we were doing was just building up that resilience. It's about finding your boundaries, finding your boundaries and pushing them to the limits. As a brand new pilot, everything you're taught is, to be really careful with what you're doing, be really careful with how you're controlling the aircraft. If you turn the aircraft too far, you're going to get yourself into a really sticky situation. And the whole point of this session was to actually say, well, do you know what? Let's do that. All these things that you're told not to do, let's do it and see what happens and see how you recover. Because there are times in your life where you're going to find yourself in these situations. You're going to find yourself where you've done something that you really shouldn't have done, and actually having that resilience to be able to get yourself out of that situation when it happens is so incredibly important. So it's really good to have those barriers in your life and to know what those barriers are, but testing the barriers sometimes can be really important. And it's certainly something we practice in the commercial cockpit. Push yourself to the limits and see why you don't want to go past that limits. It's like the whole thing with kids, right? When you tell a child not to do something, don't stick your fingers in that plug socket. All of a sudden, that plug socket looks really inviting, and it's the perfect size for tiny fingers. Here you go. Here you can see some upside down flying. Because that's what we do. We just push it, don't we? We push and we test and we try and find the limits. So sometimes it's really important to know what those limits are and know why we shouldn't push them, or why it's okay to push them sometimes. And that's certainly what we do as airline pilots. This is what I teach now. This is what I teach my clients. I teach my clients how to find this resilience in their business and how to know what you can do every single day. So if anybody's afraid of flying and you're watching this Might make you feel a bit nervous because what you're seeing on the video is going to get worse. It's going to progressively get worse as it goes through. Let's talk about something that's really useful and something really practical that you can take away that I can give you in this session that's going to be really useful kind of going forward in talking about resilience. There we go. Look at that. Upside down aeroplane. So how do we build resilience in the cockpit? So one of the things I got taught on one of the very, very first days that I was flying is that as an airline pilot, it is impossible to practice every single scenario that you find yourself in. Keep an eye on this video now. This is going to be a good one. Yeah, it's impossible to practice every single scenario that you're going to find yourself in, but you can be prepared for every single scenario that you could find yourself in. And that's the key for me to resilience, is being prepared. It's knowing what's in front of you and knowing how you can deal with it when it happens. And again, this video, this is what this is all about. It's about us knowing if this was to happen, this is how you deal with it. So one of the things we do every single day when we fly is we have a crew briefing. And part of the crew briefing, we sit down and we talk about the threats for the day. We identify the threats. So we don't just talk about kind of, nitty gritty things. Flying in general is a threat. But we talk about things that are really specific, looking forward to today's day. What could happen if something today was going to catch me out? If something today was going to trip me up, what could it be? What is that thing that's going to trip me up? And if you do that every single morning before you start your day, just psychologically think to yourself, what could happen today? I've got children. So if I think to myself, I could get a phone call at midday today and I have to go pick my kids up. They've been told to isolate. They've got COVID. They've got to take 2 weeks off. What does that mean to my business? What does that mean to my life? What effect is that going to have on me? By thinking that through and by taking those kind of steps into thinking to yourself, this could happen today and this is how I would deal with it, then ultimately if it happens, it's not going to take you by surprise. And that's how we approach every single thing in the cockpit. So, if we were about to do a flight, let's say I used to fly out of Exeter. If we were going to fly from Exeter up to Edinburgh, and one of the things we talked about with the threats was we could have a medical emergency. So on the flight, at some point between Exeter and Edinburgh, we could have a medical emergency. We could have a passenger who needs immediate medical assistance. It sparks a conversation. So we start to say to ourselves, okay, so what would we do in that situation? If we had a medical emergency, how are we going to deal with it? Well, there's so many airports en route that we could potentially divert to. When you're then in that flight, psychologically, you start to notice those airports as you fly past them. It just becomes part of your thinking. It becomes part of your regular everyday working. And it does for a few days afterwards, because it just is part of your daily routine. So every single day, if you can think of something that could be a threat, something that could affect you, something that could trip you up as a business owner, you identify it, you think about what you would do and how you would deal with that situation, then it's not going to be a problem when it comes up. It's not going to take you by surprise. Ultimately, what we're always trying to do, we do this as pilots, and something we need to try and do as business owners is stop the fight or flight response. Your body's going to trigger a fight or flight response when something happens. And if you just start acting on impulse, sometimes that can't be the best thing. So what we want to try and do is build up that resilience, take control of the situation so that fundamentally we are maintaining control. And the way we do that is by getting rid of that fight or flight response. So if something doesn't happen as a surprise, you're never going to trigger that fight or flight response. So identify risks really early on in your day. It's going to help you massively. Hey, that was perfect. I didn't intend to finish talking as we landed, but look at that. Magic, right? the aeroplane landed as I stopped talking. Totally couldn't have done that if I would have tried. I'm going to show you another video because I want to talk to you about something else, about a way that you can build resilience into your business. And it's through my brand new training program. Let's talk about Pilot Your Business. Pilot Your Business is something brand new that I've created along with the fantastic Helen Pritchard. It is a one-day event where we are going to teach you the methods that the airline pilots use to be resilient, to boost your resilience every day. We're going to give you the physical methods. So that whole thing we just talked about then about identifying threats, we'll talk about that. We'll give you that. We'll talk about how that works and why it works the way it does. But we'll give you the other decision-making methods that airline pilots use every single day to communicate, to make life or death decisions. Alongside Helen, Helen's going to give you business clarity and an actual one-to-one with Helen included in it, which is going to be incredible, and face-to-face, not actually over Zoom. But the most important thing we're going to be doing on the day is we're going to be putting you in this simulator. So the simulator that you can see on the screen right now, it is a real cockpit of a Boeing 737. We are going to put you inside this cockpit and make you practice everything we've taught you. There is nothing else like this out there. This is crazy, really. What we're going to actually do to you in the scenario we're going to put you in is we want you to imagine that you are coming back from your holiday on this aeroplane. And at some point in the flight, the cabin crew tell you that both pilots are incapacitated. And we need you and a partner that we will assign you with to land this aeroplane. So the aeroplane's in the cruise at 35,000 feet, on its way back to the UK. We need you to take control. So the question is, can you land this aeroplane? Crazy, right? I think you can. In fact, I know you can. Because what we're going to do is we are going to give you all the skills you need, the pure, non-transferable skills that pilots have that you will need to get a successful outcome out of this. And we're going to talk you down. So I'll be there and I'll be acting like air traffic control. So I'll be able to talk you through all the different things you need to be doing, all the buttons you need to be pressing, what you need to be doing, when you need to be doing it, how you need to be doing it. But it's up to you and your partner to actually do it, to implement the strategies in the most demanding environment there is. There seriously is going to be nothing like it. It is going to be an amazing day. So you can see all the details at the bottom of the screen right now. As I said, this is the real simulator. This is the thing. The scenery you can see out of the window at the moment is Dubai. So this was years and years and years ago that I did this, before I actually started properly flying commercially. This was just after I'd finished my flight training. So just flying a circle around Dubai Airport. You'll see us coming to land very, very soon. But this is a real cockpit from a Boeing 737. Everything in this cockpit works exactly like it does in the real airplane. So when you get to do this and when you're in there, if you press the wrong button, it's going to do the wrong thing. Yeah, and you have to deal with it. So there is seriously nothing like this out there. This is going to give you a serious resilience boost to your business, unlike anything else. Because the vast majority of training, whenever you do any kind of business training, it's not often you get to really put things to the test. You know, even online courses, when you're given accountability and you're asked to go away and implement something, you're still not put under the same pressure. You're still not given the same level of accountability that we are going to give you inside this simulator. You know, we are going to teach you the methods, and if you don't implement them, the implications are huge, because this aeroplane is not going to land. So there's only one way out of this, and it's to implement the methods, implement the strategies that you will have been taught. So the way the event is going to work is it's on the 11th of August. It's going to be down in Brighton. It's £1,500 per person. That's an early bird price, and that's for the next couple of weeks. We are going to be increasing the price after that to £2,000. It is a full day, but we are also going to be running 2 webinars in the lead up to the day. two between 60 and 90-minute webinars. One of them will be with Helen Pritchard, where Helen will talk to you about business clarity. And one day will be with me, where we do the full business resilience training and teaching you these methods that pilots use. We'll also give you a pre-flight briefing before you get to the actual event, so that you know just some of the basics, just so that you're not going into it completely cold, just to settle those nerves. And then on the day, we'll be splitting you into two halves. One half will be masterminding with Helen and doing hot seats. And for any of you who knows Helen Pritchard, that is going to be an incredible eyes on your business that you can't get any other way without signing up to do an actual one-to-one program with Helen. So seriously, nothing like this from every single angle. Getting Helen to get her eyes on your business is unreal. And I'm talking from experience with that. It was a real game changer for me when Helen looked over my business and really pushed it to another level. So being able to do that face to face is seriously incredible. There is nothing else like it. And the other group will be doing this with me. We'll be doing Can You Land a Plane? So you'll be thrown into this cockpit in pairs and given the opportunity to put it to the test, to show us whether you've learnt everything we've taught you. Seriously exciting. I really can't wait. I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to put Helen in it as well and see how well Helen deals with it. Because I think that's something we all want to see as well, right? I guess maybe I should be charging people to come and watch that video when we do that. You will get a video on the day as well. So the video you can see on the screen right now, you will get a video copy of your session for you to take away as well and share with your friends and family, because you won't believe it. You won't believe that you managed to get the outcome that you are going to get. And I am telling you, you will get the outcome. You will get the positive outcome. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing experience. We don't know whether we're going to do it again. We are going to be offering this to my corporate clients. So all the people that I work with on my programs, we are going to be offering Can You Land a Plane as part of that as well. But for now, Pilot Your Business for entrepreneurs, 11th of August down in Brighton, £1,500 per person. I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to leave you with this video so that you can see me land this aeroplane. I can't actually remember how well I land it, so this could be a bit hairy. If you are interested, places are limited. We've only got 20 places left for the whole event. So send me a DM either on Facebook or LinkedIn, however you're watching this, and we will get you signed up. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.